Okay, so the third lie is that the best companies cascade goals. If there's anything more prevalent in the world of work than plans, it's goals. Every single one of us who works in the real world of work has experienced the cascade down upon you of goals that maybe start with the CEO. Finally, it hits you as you look inside your performance management system, if you have one, and your goals are suddenly pre-populated. And so you dutifully go in and fill out your goals. And then you wait until the end of the year. Probably haven't looked at them the entire year, but you know that at the end of the year, someone's going to come back in and say, well, how'd you do on your goals? And you kind of get into this strange little political maneuvering so that your goals seem just hard enough for you to be realistic in saying that you hit some of them, but not so easy that you hit all of them. And then you kind of go through the motions of talking to your team leader about it, who has to write them up, how well you did. And then you get maybe a rating on the back of the goals, and then everyone breathes out, and then we do it again next year. Why do we use goals that way? We use goals because we think they serve three purposes in the world of work. Number one, the CEO believes that if we can cascade goals to mini, to mini, then the organization will be, and you know the word I'm going to use now, aligned. The organization will be aligned. Second, of course, we use goals to track our progress during the year. And if you don't have in your company right now a way for you to track your progress, there'll be a tracking app coming to a phone near you that will enable you or your team leader or your team leader of leaders to say, our department is 52% complete with 36% of their goals. We need to speed up. So second, goals are used to track progress. And then lastly, of course, goals are used at the end of the year to evaluate. So we can sit down and say, well, you hit 3 out of your 5, therefore you're you're a top performer, whereas you achieved 4 out of 5 and you're a superstar performer, or whatever the rating system is. So those are the 3 uses for goals: alignment, tracking, and evaluation. The problem is goals don't do any one of those 3 things very well at all. Alignment. Once you get 2 or 3 levels below the CEO, the goals become theoretical, don't they? Abstract. If they were really going to help you stay aligned, if they were really going to help the organization stay aligned throughout the course of the year, you'd have thought that you and everyone else would keep checking in on these goals, would keep going in and readjusting and reassessing. You'd have thought that's what would happen. It doesn't happen. We know from the data that less than 5% of people go even and look at their goals one time during the course of the year once they're set. You'd have thought they would, but we don't. Goals are not a good way at all of keeping the organization aligned. Second, tracking. Goal attainment isn't linear. Tracking progress isn't linear. It's binary. You either achieved it or you didn't. Boiling or it's not. How about evaluation? Well, in order for us to evaluate properly or use goals to evaluate properly you against somebody else, your team leader would have to perfectly calibrate your goals. Maybe you got 5 of them and your colleague has 5 of them. Maybe you hit 3 and she hit 5, but maybe her 5 were make a cup of tea, make another cup of tea, make some toast, make a boiled egg and eat it. And maybe yours were reach Mars, reach the sun, reach Jupiter, reach the moon, and reach Venus. Okay, silly examples, but your goals clearly are calibrated super differently than your colleagues were. For us to be able to use goal attainment in order to be able to evaluate people properly, we would have to achieve perfect inter-rater reliability. Perfect inter-rater reliability between your goals, or your colleagues' goals rather, and your goals in terms of their difficulty, their stretchiness or their slackiness. And we can't do that. No. When we look at the 3 uses that we have for goals, alignment, tracking, and evaluation, we realize goals don't do very well at any one of those. What are goals for? When they enable us to make manifest something inside of us that we deem valuable, they are supremely useful. Unfortunately, therefore, the only way for goals to be useful is if we set them for ourselves. If they come from within. If you do that, it's a good goal. Whether or not it's a SMART or OKR or BHAG or whatever. If it comes from within, it's a good goal. If it's imposed from you from above, if it's cascaded on you from above, it's an ungoal. By the very definition of the way that it came upon you, it now no longer serves any purpose at all.